Hello everyone and welcome back to this very abandoned, neglected, basically orphan of a channel. Oh my god, it's been so long since I've posted, since I've recorded, since I've done anything YouTube related, and all I can do is apologize. Life has been very crazy, but that's why I'm back. I've so much to share with you, to fill you in on, and also to hopefully help you if anyone's thinking of doing what I done as well. It was really weird even sitting in front of this camera. I feel like looking back on my old videos, so much has changed. I'm obviously older now. I feel like I look different, I sound different, my life is different, everything is different. This video is going to be the first of many videos that I plan on doing, and it is basically an insight to my new career, a very popular, interesting career that I feel like a lot of people are maybe thinking of now, and that is real estate. Anyone that knows me or follows me on Instagram or anything will have seen that this past year I have, you know, embarked on my new career as a real estate agent, and it has been an absolute whirlwind. I have so much to tell you. But first things first, I want this video to kind of just be the basics, how I became a real estate agent, behind the scenes, the process, and what exactly you have to do to be a real estate agent in Ontario. Now I can only speak to what I know, which is in Ontario, Canada. So even if you don't live here, if you're interested, then keep on watching. I officially have my real estate license since February of this year, so February 2021. It is now November. 9 months now. Jesus, that's like a pregnancy. I've had a pregnancy of career, and now I'm basically about to burst. Like, the baby is coming out. Yeah, so I just want to give you a little bit of kind of backstory about me, the process, procedures, and kind of where I am now. I first applied for the courses, it would be, God, it would be nearly 3 years ago now. Jesus, time flies. What made me get into real estate is actually a little bit random. Like, I didn't grow up saying I wanted to be a real estate agent, and to be quite frank, growing up in Ireland, that's not really a career that you hear about, that you're exposed to. And a lot of people in Ireland just grow up with their family. They stay in their family house, they might rent or they might move away, but there's not really that active moving around, and even affordability in Ireland is very difficult, so not that many people will be homeowners versus other countries, example like Canada. When I used to come here every summer to visit family, I was always just amazed at how big the houses were here. I just thought it was like something I've never seen before. Really reminded me of things like from a movie. I just loved like different type of houses, and it was obviously so different than what I was used to. So I was always like just curious as to what houses looked like, the interior, the exterior, not in a way that I was like, this is what I want to be when I'm older, but it was just always like interesting to me. But I think the one thing that really led me to this career was how people facing it is. I've always worked, you know, in customer service, hospitality, retail, call centers. Like, I do engage very well with people. I'm a very personable person. I'm very chatty, very friendly, very warm. These are traits that I, you know, have as a person, and I enjoy working when I can really show off these traits. I was working in different restaurants and clubs and bars here. The money was really good, don't get me wrong, it was amazing, especially for, you know, a 21, 22-year-old that just moved from Ireland, was used to making like, you know, 12 quid an hour, and now I'm coming over here and I'm making a lot of tips, and I'm like, wow, like, this is crazy. But I think the biggest thing that kind of made me start thinking elsewhere was, it's like, how can I make this out of a career? I don't want to be working in restaurants for the next 10 years. I don't want the late nights. I don't want unsociable hours. Like, you know, working, the best way to make money is working full-time and mostly working nights, which is great to do if you have a goal, or if you're in school, or if you just enjoy doing it. But after 3 years of constantly doing that, it's like, I'm exhausted. Like, I was just so tired. I had the worst sleeping pattern, bad eating habits, you know, you're drinking, you're going out, everything is just like nighttime. Sometimes I wouldn't be sleeping till 5 a.m. and then you sleep until like 1 in the afternoon, you get showered, you have something to eat, back in again at 5. And it just got to a stage where I just felt very, very burnt out. So I was kind of thinking of different avenues. What can I do without having to really, you know, go back to university, because I didn't want to go and do a 4-year program, so I wasn't certain what I wanted to do. A good friend of mine actually that I was friends with for years, I saw that she got into real estate, and you know, I was seeing her journey online on social media. It was so interesting. I was like, oh my god, like this is really something that I can see myself doing. Like there's different elements that I really like content creation, dealing with people, sales, talking to different people all the time. From the outside looking in, I was like, yeah, I can do this, but obviously you don't really know what that entails as time goes on. So I was like, this is going to be a good career for me. I've done my research. I saw that the course at the time was OREA, which is Ontario Real Estate Association. They actually were stopped taking applicants by April of, I think it was 2018. I remember it was the first time sitting down, I was like, oh my god, this is all different language to me. I didn't understand anything they were talking about. It was like history class, and I was sitting there like, this is not as easy as I thought it was going to be. And the first exam, I remember, it was the day before I was doing the exam, and I didn't really understand how to study it. So I was just reading through the content, and then the day before the exam, someone actually told me about a study guide, which you really should be giving yourself about a week to look through this. I looked at it the night before. I was doing the practice exams. It was after midnight. I drank a coffee and I had a severe anxiety attack. I was like, oh my god, I can't do this. This is too hard. I don't know what I'm doing. There's so much math. There's so many formulas. Like, oh my god, I can't do this. And I literally freaked out the night before. Barely even slept. Went to the exam the next day, and I said to myself, you know what, I'm just gonna do my best. If I pass, I need to continue in this path. If I don't, I'm gonna reassess how I'm feeling. So the minimum passing grade for all the exams is 75%. Tell me how, when I got my exam, I got 76% on my first one. So I was like, just scrape the barrel of passing. So I was like, well, do you know what? I'm at the passing, I have to keep going now. So I then applied for the second course, and it was a lot longer. It was like, it was a little bit tedious, but you know, I had this motivation. I was like, you know what, that first exam, I wasn't expecting it to be that hard, but I passed. I can do this. And then I smashed that second one, and then the third one came, and it was a very, very long exam. 2 different courses, which are typically 45 hours of studying each combined for one exam. So that is a lot to prepare, especially if, you know, you've only really been doing it a few months. So I was giving myself a timeline of, I want to have this exam done before I go home for the holidays, which was Christmas. I was going to Ireland. The last time I've been to Ireland, actually. I really did try to study. I actually didn't pass that exam. I needed 75, I got 64%, and I was really disappointed in myself. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put this on pause. I'm going home for Christmas. When I come back in the new year, I'll put my head down and I'll study. It took me maybe 5 months to do that one, because I gave myself 2 months before I went away. Didn't pass, so I was like, I'm not rushing it again. I'm gonna really take my time, make sure I pass it. And I actually did pass after 3 months then. So it was like 5 months to take that one course. Like, that is probably why it took me so long. It took me in and around 18 months to finish this course. I know people that's done it in 6 months. I know people that's taken the whole 24 months. It really depends on your priorities, how quick you are at, you know, studying and cramming for exams. You know, for me, to be honest, at the beginning, it was not a priority. It was something that I was doing on the side for the future, but there was no real sense of urgency. I wasn't really, you know, networking in real estate. I didn't really have a plan. I was just like, let me just take my time with the exams, and when it comes to the end of it, I'll be ready to go into the career. So then when COVID hit, and by the way, my dates might be wrong, I can't really think of 2018, 2019, I actually can't remember. So then when COVID hit, and obviously we went into full lockdown, restaurants were closed, hospitality was pure on pause, and it was like, oh my god, I have so much time. Like, you know, some people were working from home, some people were in university. I was like, now I actually have a purpose. I have something to study, because let's be honest, there's only so much Netflix you can watch before you start to go cuckoo. And when the bubbles were so small and you literally were only allowed within your household, and I just lived with like one of my best friends at the time, thankfully, but she was working from home, so from 9 to 5 she's working all day. So I was literally like by myself in my own thoughts. What am I going to do? I'm like, you know what, let me use this to my advantage. I'm going to better myself. I'm going to finish this course. The total cost to do the program with OREA, it's in and around $4,500, and that's not taking into consideration the cost to retake an exam, to postpone your exam date, to, if you fail, you have to pay for the whole course again. Not the whole 6 courses, but when I failed my 3rd exam, which was so annoying because that was the most expensive one, I had to pay $900 to retake that course and exam again. So the more you fail, the more you pay. If you pass all of them, you're just really paying for the base. Humber, which is the new college that is now taking over the real estate online program for OREA, that's around $4,100. And then again, there's add-ons if you need to retake an exam, etc. Let's say studying is, let's just round it up to $5,000. That's for your coursework. And then once you're finished and you actually apply, you register to RICO, this is when you pick your brokerage. I'll do that in a different video. That's quite, there's quite a lot of details to know about brokerages. I can do a separate video about that. So when you do pick a brokerage, you register your license with RICO. That can take a couple of weeks to come in. Again, that was not cheap. I think when I finished my courses, I spent about $2,000 just getting set up. When you join your first brokerage, you might have to pay desk fees, a welcome package, which is like business cards, sale signs. There's so many different things. That's how I got my license. It took me longer than the average person because, as I said, it wasn't a priority at the beginning, and then when COVID hit, something just clicked in my brain. Let me just go full force at this. Once you're halfway through, you can really see the finish line and you start to think, okay, how am I going to grow my business? Does this work for me? And don't get me wrong, there's so many people that want to be a realtor, or they want to get into real estate, and you know, it's definitely not for everybody. And the coursework can be very long, it can be very boring, can sometimes go in one ear out the other. The amount of times I would have to reread notes because I couldn't even remember what I read. But let me just tell you this now, what you learn in the coursework is literally 10% of what you actually need to know. And that's not in a way to scare you, that is, you will learn so much as you go. It's very, very important to make sure you have a mentor or just support around you, because the amount of questions you're going to have about everything, about small things, and it's only practice makes perfect. You'll have to make mistakes to learn from them. You'll have to ask questions to know how to answer them. Dealing with different clients is going to teach you different things as well. So if you're thinking of doing it, just go for it. It's going to take a bit of time. You do need to prioritize the studying. It's an investment, not just with money but also with time. So if you are really passionate and interested and you want to put the time and effort in, do it. It's such a rewarding career. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I have a couple more videos coming with different topics. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. It feels weird but very normal now that I'm sitting here to be in front of the camera again, and I'm excited to get back into it. Thanks so much for watching.